What's up, Ramley? You are now in the kitchen with Chef Nixon for all your fixings for the latest and greatest of VCU men's basketball. Um, Happy Valentine's Day. Try to sport a little pink for the festivities. But VCU had a game over the weekend against a rival at their house. Excuse me, at their house. VCU went into George Mason. Um, how did it go? Let's get into it. So for those who don't know, maybe you're too young, or maybe you became a fan not too long ago. Whatever. George Mason and VCU have a rivalry that extends back, phew, years and years. Even before I played at VCU, being at the CAA, they're right up the road. They always have a good team. We beating them, they beating us. But it's always been a really good game and very respectful. Even to the point where I went to VCU, and one of my best friends from back home, who also played on my high school team, ended up going to George Mason. He was a year younger than me, so we played against each other 3 out of his 4 years, which was awesome. Um, Shout out to Mike Morrison. Um, so going into this game, when we moved to the A10, George Mason didn't have too much success. Um, Overall. I mean, I look at they had kind of success against us. I remember recently, we beat them last, but there's a couple times they came in the Siegel Center and beat us. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple times where it was a really good game and we just pulled it out. Or anybody remembers years ago on Valentine's Day, Sherrod, I can't remember his last name, Sherrod, shot a half court shot and beat VCU at George Mason. So looking at this game, I'm really excited to see if the rivalry is still there. And sure enough, George Mason fans showed up and showed out. VCU fans showed up and showed out. I've seen the the tailgate before for VCU fans. Shout out to y'all for doing that. I couldn't make it, but I was there in spirit. So let's get into this game. George Mason this year, they're coming to this game 12-10. They're under a new coach, Mr. Kim English, who I super duper like. From what I see, I really like him as a coach. Young guy, seems to be very good at recruiting. I know they're getting a kid out of IMG next year, super athletic. It seems like he's more of a player's coach. All his team seems to be buying in to his mission and changing the coach there. I'm super excited to see where they go, because judging by what I've seen, and even in this game and previously watching them, they have a lot of good things going for them. They just haven't put it all together yet, because they had stretches where they'll lose a couple in a row, and then they'll win and beat teams that you didn't think they could. So they're a dangerous team moving forward. They're still, I think they're ranked like number 6 in the conference right now. But they have a lot of different moving things. They have 3 transfers, and that's really hard to do. Coming in as a coach, trying to build something, you got people who already have, they're not a blank slate. They already have some type of experience in college, to where sometimes you got to kill bad habits, and we talked about that. And not necessarily bad habits, but just bad habits of other teams. We talked about that a little bit with Tiso, just being taught differently, being that he was on the West Coast. So that's always a battle that coaches have to go through. So I was curious to see how they were going to play today, but I knew they were going to bring their best because they're playing VCU. And regardless of if they're aware of the rivalry, we're still too close. So VCU comes to this game on a 2-game win streak after beating University of Rhode Island in a very, very action-packed game, but very sloppy game. And they end up pulling out a comfortable win earlier this week. So I'm looking to see if, coming into this game, I'm looking to see if we can clean up our act a little bit, and get back to playing a little bit more sound basketball, a sound brand of basketball, and still bringing the havoc, controlled havoc. You know what I mean? So I'm really looking forward to see how we came out. And it's another away game that we have to win. To be honest, I think we have to win out. I think we have to win out the rest of the game to get all the rest of our games. I think we have to win out to get an at-large bid. And if we do lose, it has to be to like St. Louis, which is a big game. On time we play them, you don't want to lose that game just for, you know, moving into conference tournament time. But certain teams we can't lose. George Mason's a team that we can't lose to. Fordham, we can't lose to them, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But judging by the first half of this game, I thought that we were going to be in for like a super classic type of back and forth type of game. We both teams came out playing really good basketball. And granted, everything wasn't perfect, but it was like really good basketball on the offensive end. The ball was moving side to side. People getting in the paint. Everybody getting touches. VCU had great moments. George Mason had great moments. Defensively, we still playing our type of defense, making everything tough. However, George Mason was really taking care of the ball, not turning it over. So it was like really good basketball to watch the first half. Solid defense. It was great to see. But one thing I noticed immediately is Josh Orduro is really good. Now he was there last year. He's a big man. How tall is Orduro? Let me look. He was there last year, and I'm pretty sure. I seen like glimpses of he can step out, hit a 15-footer. He has a little bit of post move down low. But this year he's really starting to come into his own. And he's a junior. He's a 6'9" junior, 230. But he could really do a little bit of everything, from shooting the ball to putting the ball on the floor. I remember one time in this game, first half, and he got the ball on the wing, and he hit the lows with like a cross, like left-right cross, and between the legs. And I was like, yo, it was crazy. It was crazy. He's going to be a problem. And the thing about it is, I look at teams, and I can't help but to compare them to the Final Four team, because it's just, success-wise, that's some of the best that VCU has seen. And they're kind of similar. They try to go like 4-round-1. They don't have the Brad factor, nor do I think I haven't watched enough, but Xavier Johnson, I'm not saying he is Joey Rodriguez, but for George Mason version, he can be a good point guard for them. And Aduro and Josh kind of reminds me of like a Skeen in a sense, and they like to get up a lot of threes. So that's kind of very similar to how we like to play. I don't think they're going to be. Of course, I don't think they're as talented or as together as we were, but that's the makeup, and that's what makes them dangerous, because we tried to guard Aduro one-on-one, and he was really getting what he wanted. I felt as if George Mason kind of got away from him, which made it easier for us, which I was happy about. But we really couldn't guard him one-on-one. Only person that could really body him up was Levi, but I just don't think that Levi's quick enough to guard him by himself either. So yeah, I think one of the mistakes that George Mason made was getting away from him. They started out really getting to him in the beginning of the first half and like mid of the first half, but second half, I guess they were trying to catch up so much that they kind of got away from it. But just keep that in mind moving forward. And then also I seen this is another team, and I call this another team that they attempted to press us. Now we ended up breaking it fairly easy and scoring, so they kind of got out of it really quick. But that makes it like the last 4 or 5 teams that we played since Dayton that tried to press us, as if that was a weakness of ours. And we have shown some weakness and some vulnerability to it, so I understand it. But yeah, so the better we do, the less we'll see. And I think people understand that that was just a bad night. But just be aware of the habits we show the other teams, because other teams are watching. Even though we're not number one in the conference, everybody fears us. So everybody's really taking the time to look and see, okay, well, how can we counter VCU's defense? So that's something I noticed. So I want to talk about our bigs, right? VCU bigs have been kind of inconsistent collectively. What I mean is like, okay, Levi played well, then Hassan won't play well, and then vice versa, and Deloach will play well, and then he'll have be in foul trouble super fast, and then we have all these different things that happen with our bigs. Um, but I'm gonna shine some light. Hassan's been playing super well. And when I say super well, it's not the fact that he's just scoring everything or he's grabbing every rebound, but he's playing so relaxed and just free and just going and playing now, flying around. Where there was a stretch where he just was in his own head, right? And it was bad. Now that he's out of it, I can say it that he was playing very bad. But now he's back. He's back on track. Back in his comfort zone. Back flying around, getting to putbacks, getting rebounds, getting block shots, guarding the big in the post and being physical. Like I like what Hassan has brought to the table, right? Deloach, I think Deloach is probably outside of Levi, but Levi, we'll get to him in a little bit. But outside of Levi, I think Deloach has been our best around the rim scorer from our bigs. Um, he just every game I just see a little bit of growth and a little bit of growth and a little bit of growth from him. And I think he's going to be really good. Once I've talked to some of the coaches and we discussed Deloach in particular about how he's just he up here he's just different. He wants to smoke. You know what I'm saying? His mind is ahead of his body. So he wants to smoke. He wants the physicality. He wants to dunk on you. He wants to talk junk. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of guy he is. And I've seen it. And I've seen, I pay attention to the small things. And I've seen he always kind of gets in. There's always a little chippiness around when he's playing. And I like that. Matter of fact, I love that. We need dogs like that, right? And I just think the older he gets, the stronger he gets, the more weight he puts on, it's going to be a problem. The more comfortable he gets, the more he develops his skill set, he's just going to be a problem. Now, granted, I don't know if he's going to be, Javante Reddick, but he could be something similar. And that's going to be huge for us moving forward. I think he is a super, super duper talent, and I think he's going to do nothing but get better and better and eventually become one of the leaders for this team. Now, Mikael Brown-Jones, another one of our bigs, who started out super slow. He had the little injury where he was out for a while, but since he's came back, he had to get a start when Vince got hurt. I had nothing but good things to say about his game, and he's kind of like a redshirt freshman in a sense, but he goes out there and plays so strong and so physical and making the right cuts and making the right play. You know what I'm saying? That is like he gives us exactly what we need from him. And mind you, I still think he has so much more potential within him too. I think we gotta I know Hassan and Levi are gonna be moving on, but we got another guy coming in who's averaging snagging rebounds. He could run the floor like a gazelle. I think it's Furman. I think it's something Furman like that. But he's gonna be a super good addition to this team. But Mikael Brown-Jones he's not gonna do anything but get more comfortable. He's not going to do anything but get more skill. He's not going to do anything but learn where to get his shots from more. I think he has to be honest with you, I've seen him shoot the ball in practice at times, and I can see that he has the form to knock it down. And I think by the time next year, if he puts in the work next year, he's going to be able to hit that pick and pop three. Oh, and then that's going to open this game up. It's going to be beautiful to see. Now, Levi, I talked to Coach Rose, and I understand Levi had contracted COVID at one point in time, and he really hasn't been the same since. So I do want to just I want to ease off him a little bit, but he hasn't really been there. And the first time I can really remember is the Richmond game where I was like, "Yo, what's up with him? Like something's going on. Like I don't understand what it is." And it's not I think we've seen it. We all seen that Levi is a very capable scorer, defender, rebounder, everything, right? He's very versatile for his size. He got some slow feet, but he knows how to move them puppies. You feel me? So I just don't know what it is that he just can't get going right now. I don't know if it's just lacking confidence or if something else is weighing on him. I'm not really sure what it is, but I know that he can do better than what he's doing now. And granted, you see sparks like even when he was guarding Odoro, I felt as if he guarded really, really, really good one possession where he was bumping him with just chest, pushing him away from the basket, and contesting at the end. It was perfect. He ended up getting a shot clock violation. So it's not like he's doing horrible. But from what I know he can do, especially offensively, he just hasn't been in the rhythm. Whether that be catching the ball going up strong, whether that be recognizing on the first move you have him. Like there was one time he hit him and he could have went to his usual spin back, left hand over the right shoulder, finish. But was so unaware of where he was that he ended up passing the ball right back out. And it's like, no, we ran this play for you, Levi. Go ahead and do your thing. Get comfortable again. Get used to get your confidence back. You know what I mean? And maybe hopefully when we play Fordham, he can start to build some of that back because we're going to need him moving forward. Because we're going to need to be able to throw the ball in the post and get some of these easy buckets. So hopefully he can get that back going. We believe in him, and I just really wish that everything works out mentally for him because that's all it is in my mind. It's all mental. Another cool thing about George Mason games is when the Peppers can ride up and get in the building. And we have a little battle of the bands. I love Dr. Mixon's what he does with George Mason band. I always love their band as well. The Peppers are the Peppers. You got to show love there. But I really love George Mason's band as well. They do a great job. They had the house rocking in there, and so did we. So it was really dope. It was really dope. Just wanted to say that because I can't be the only person that at least appreciates George Mason's band. So as far as this game went, I think that we did a really good job of really having a really strong first half, putting it together to where when they made mistakes, we capitalized on them, running good offense, getting great shots. So when we got to the second half, I really I was really impressed, and I made a note of this. And I said, Ace is my mother dog. And not only is my dog, but he is a dog. Beginning of the second half, he gets a steal, then an assist to Vince. He gets a steal, and then he gets a three, and then he gets another three. And it's like, that right there took the game from a competitive back and forth game. Even though I think we're up 10 at half. But it was still super close. It was like sometimes the score doesn't really show how competitive the game is. And this was one of those games. But when Ace came out and did that, and that's all in the first 5 minutes. And for those who don't know, a game can be determined by the first 5 minutes of the second half. If you come out there and get, for instance, let's rewind back to when Bones was here and we played St. Bonnie's. It was a close game. It was at St. Bonnie's. It was a close game. It was tight, but it was like Bonnie's was really good. So it was a back and forth type thing, and we were down, but we weren't. Matter of fact, we were up. And then we came out the second half. In those first 5 minutes, St. Bonnie's just dominated us, and we ended up getting blown out by like 20 or 30. So that's the type of thing you have to win the first 5 minutes of the half. If you're up a bunch, and you don't, and you lose the first, now you're in for a different type of game. If you're up like we were, and you do what Ace did, then the game is a lot easier for you coming down the stretch. So I absolutely loved what Ace did this game. Another 10 assist game. He was super duper effective in running and getting good shots. Like Ace has I don't know if he had this last year, but his jump shot is so much better. It's a beautiful sight to see. And lefties just looks better. It just does. So I was super impressed, super proud to see him go out there and do what he did, and it was really good. So this game is what I consider. I feel like we thumped George Mason, but it still was a competitive game. And to be honest with you, I don't want fans to like when we play them again because we're gonna play them next weekend. Um, I don't want you to think that we thump them like this at their house, so when they come to our house, it's going to be easy work. It's not. It's not. That this game could have easily been a drawn out dogfight, easily. And the biggest thing, because like I said we both played really good basketball. The biggest difference is we made runs when we were supposed to, and George Mason missed momentum shots. End of the half, Keyshawn Curry turns it over. They get a shot in the corner, misses it. Earlier in the half, they get a defensive stop. Matter of fact, they get another turnover. They come down, they swing it to the power forward, open for three, shoots it, goes and comes out. Those are momentum plays. Like he hits that three, I think they're down one, right? Then we probably don't go into the half up 10. You know what I mean? We probably don't go into half up 10. Now it's maybe a 2 or 3 point game. We don't have that comfort level. We might get tight. Our shots aren't falling. There's so many different things that can happen if they were to hit their momentum shots, and they weren't. And I'm not taking anything away from our defense. Our defense is great, but sometimes you got to hit the momentum shots, and we kind of struggled with doing that at times as well. Like where I think we did really good this game, but in general, like we'll get a steal, the crowd we get a steal layup, crowd be going crazy, and we can come down and get another stop. And if we kick it up and get that three off instead of turning the ball over or taking a bad shot, we swing the ball, get a good shot, and knock down another three. That's a huge momentum shot, and now we can end up blowing the team out, opposed to what we usually do and have like turn the ball over and not get a good shot or offensive foul or something like that. And it ends up, instead of going on a run, we become stagnant, and now the game's a lot closer than what it should have been. So those are the type of things that Mason just couldn't get off. So, and they're a very capable three-point shooting team. Let's not get it twisted. They're very capable. We were fortunate that they couldn't hit any momentum threes because the game would have looked completely different. Shouts out to Keyshawn Curry for dunking on that boy and putting him on a poster. If somebody got a snapshot of that, please send it to me. The Jacksonville Jet does it again. So VCU pulled the game out. The final score of 85-70. George Mason played tough, but at the end of the day, they just didn't have enough to get back in the game after those first 5 minutes. So stat leaders, we had Ace Baldwin had 18 points, 10 assists, and 2 steals. Great game for him. We had 5 guys in double digits this game, which is great to see. And it's one of those things. It kind of gives credit to how deep our team is. Like Tiso probably had like 2 points this game. Kern probably had I don't know if he even scored. Levi may have had like 1 point. But all these guys are capable of giving you, 7 to 12 points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have a really, really good, really deep team. And Vince Williams also added 18 points, 3 rebounds. Now pause. I want to talk about this, and y'all let me know what y'all think. How good is Vince really? Think about it. How good is he really? He scores the ball. He rebounds the ball. He passes the ball. Plays defense. Gets steals. Gets blocks. He does a lot. How good is he really? Is Vince Williams, question, is Vince Williams a tournament run away from getting his jersey retired? I don't know. I could be completely wrong. But is he a tournament run away from getting his jersey retired? Maybe not. But think about it. Think about everything that Vince does. Think about the people we have in the Raptors. Think about, like, Trevion was a tremendous scorer. Brad was Mr. Consistent. Vince is Mr. Do Everything. So what would have to happen for that to happen? A Final Four? No, I don't think that. I mean, because then that's obvious. If they go to the Sweet 16, does he get a trade? I don't know. How good is he really? Is he just he's decent? Is he good or is he a great? We'll find out soon. George Mason, Josh Oduro, 18 points, 9 rebounds. The kid is super good. He's going to be an issue moving forward for the remainder of this year and next year. Xavier Johnson had 11 points and 9 assists. So I think Mason played a really good game. They just didn't make the runs they were supposed to. It's as simple as that. Sometimes it just don't happen that way. But one thing I will say is we're going to have a dogfight on our hands when Mason comes to our house. We are. And granted, I know we don't want to see Davidson, just as far as like in the A-10 tournament moving, you don't want to see Davidson until like later, like championship. You don't want to see St. Bonnie's until later. Certain teams, you just don't want to see until later in the tournament. But George Mason, I think they're going to be a sleeper team. I know their record doesn't really show consistent like how good they are. I think that they have a chance to upset some teams, and I just want to make sure that we're on alert so it ain't us. Because all it is, Aduro's going to get his points. He's too skilled to not do so. But they got shooters surrounding them. And if they get hot, I'm telling you, they're a dangerous team. They're a very dangerous team. So my low-key player of the game is Jaden Nunn. He had 15 points and 6 rebounds. And this is his first game getting out of single digits in the A-10 tournament. So he really has been, since Aces came back, he kind of has taken a back seat. I mean, which is to be, Aces is a man's man. You know what I'm saying? And he's a floor general, so I understand it. But when we can get this type of production out of Jaden Nunn, we're going to be super duper hard to beat. Because I believe that he can do what he did. I think he can do that every night. I think Jaden Nunn can score 15 points every night. He's that talented offensively. I think he can do that. His mid-range, his catch and shoot, his ability to attack the basket, his defense, he can get plucks and get easy points. I think he can get 10 to 15 points every night. Every night. So when we see him do this in tournament play, hopefully he can build on that because then we become scary. We become really scary. Moving forward, we have Fordham. And, like I said earlier, I think we have to win out for at-large. I think we have to win out or we can't lose to bad teams. And Fordham, let me tell you why Fordham's crazy. Fordham is a must-win because they're a bad team, but they're a dangerous team too. Fordham, like I've been paying attention. Now, I haven't necessarily watched a Fordham game, but I paid attention to the top teams play Fordham and barely make it out of there alive. You know what I mean? It happened to St. Bonnie's. It happened to Davidson. So they're a bad team, but a dangerous team, and it's a must-win for us because that would I feel like that would we're not getting at large. If we lose them, I don't think we get at large. And they have the A-10 lead scorer, Quinsbury, can give it to you any type of way you want it as a guard. So we have to be locked in, just like we were for the George Mason game. We have to be super locked in because, it's a must-win. So like I always say, put your seatbelt on, put your hard hat on, get your mind right. Be ready. There's going to be a battle. So until next time, much love. Peace. Oh, shout out to Mike Moe. That money was very good. Thank you for betting me. I love to take your money. Till next time. Peace, y'all.